Korean dramas, also called K-dramas, have been exploding in popularity over the last few years. What started as a niche genre being broadcast on select channels in the United States decades ago has grown into an international phenomenon. The genre is becoming so dominant that even major players in the entertainment industry, like Netflix, have started opening up studios in Korea dedicated to producing the content. But why? Out of the dozens of genres out there, what is it that draws so many people to K-pop? There are a few different reasons. One of the biggest drivers for the international growth of K-dramas has been the so-called Korean wave. I have an entire video dedicated to that topic that I will put in the top right-hand corner now. I highly recommend checking that out if you want a more detailed breakdown. In summary, Korean media has been being exported internationally more and more since the early 1980s. There are many different nuances and factors that led into this, but a primary one was Korea's desire to gain international influence through their media, since they would never be able to close the gap in power differentials through the size of their country or military. For this reason, the country started to subsidize and support Korean creatives, encouraging them to create high-quality television content. This government support led to a refinement and development of Korean media that was specifically designed to bring in an international audience. As these shows were sent to the United States alongside Korean music called K-pop, they gathered a cult following. When the internet was popularized, fans of Korean media were able to more easily interact with other fans and even the creators themselves. This internet age led to some hugely popular pieces of content from Korea becoming viral, such as Psy's song Gangnam Style, which has garnered over 4 billion views on YouTube. That is more than half of the population of Earth. K-pop and K-dramas both continued their momentum in the United States as Korea began reaching out to more and more countries such as Japan and China. When major streaming services like Netflix started listing K-dramas in their catalog of content, the world was already primed to enjoy Korean content. This momentum from the Korean wave isn't the only reason for the success of K-dramas, however. Unlike most US TV dramas, which tend to run for seasons on end, a unique aspect of K-dramas is that there is a finite beginning and ending to every series. They are usually composed of a single story arc that spans 16 to 20 episodes, and each runs for about an hour. Even when showrunners decide to produce more than one season, the storylines tend to revolve around a different set of characters entirely. This helps to add a sense of realism and ground the series as a whole. American dramas often recycle old tropes and weaken their storylines with artificial drama in order to pad their runtime. An average show runs for 4 to 7 seasons, but some long-standing ones go on even longer. For example, ABC's show Grey's Anatomy is currently on its 17th season. By condensing their storylines down to a single season, K-dramas are able to focus their storytelling and make sure that each episode is up to par. The wholesomeness of K-dramas is another big appeal to the genre. Many Western shows have a heavy emphasis on the sex lives of its characters. Grey's Anatomy comes to mind once again. But many K-dramas feature a chaste style of storytelling that feels like a throwback to an earlier time. Even some of the parents in Sky Castle, South Korea's hottest drama at the moment, sleep in separate beds, a la I Love Lucy. Lead characters on shows like What Is Wrong with Secretary Kim and My Love from Another Star are sexually inexperienced men and women who have barely even dated. In the My Love from Another Star, the male character literally faints when he is kissed. Rather than being sex-oriented, many of the storylines are relationship-oriented. K-drama relationships can often be split into several different steps: the introduction, handshake, hug, and longing. The longing phase is what the entire show builds up to, and it is part of what makes K-dramas so addictive. Seeing the emotional progression from a handshake to never wanting to leave that person's side sets up an interesting and fulfilling contrast when compared to its Western counterparts. Whether it is through the way it builds relationships, the structures of the stories and seasons, or the huge momentum launching K-dramas forward with the Korean wave, K-dramas have had a way of leaving an impact on their watchers, and that impact is something that will keep the genre going for years to come. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite K-drama recommendations are in the comments below, and make sure to hit the like button if you want to see more content like this. Click the video on the right to hear about the Korean wave, or click the video on the left to see something YouTube handpicked just for you. This has been Bridge to the East. Thanks for watching!